Okay, Matzah Ball Boy by Lisa Schulman. Once upon a time, there was an old grandmother, a bubby, who lived all alone. She lived in a tiny cottage at the edge of a small village in a far-off country whose name sounded like a sneeze. Her children were grown with children of their own, but could they be bothered to visit their mother? Not that she was complaining, but she couldn't help feel a little lonely. Soon Passover would be here, and there was no one to come to her Seder, the holiday dinner, no one to help retell the Passover story, no one to eat her sweet apple and walnut haroset and sip her delicious matzo ball soup. So, the morning of Passover, the bubby decided to make herself a matzo ball boy. A friendly face in her soup was better than nothing, she thought. So she mixed the matzah meal with eggs and oil, salt and water, and from the dough she shaped a soft little body and a round matzo ball head, and she gave him a carrot-sized nose, a curving celery mouth, and peppercorn eyes and buttons, and then she plopped him into a pot of chicken soup to cook. Soon the most delicious smells came from the bubbling pot, and when the old woman lifted the lid to see if the matzo ball boy was done, out he jumped. "Oi!" she cried in surprise. "Where do you think you're going, my little matzo ball boy?" So I bet you all kind of know where this story is going and what book it's similar to. Can you tell me? The matzo ball boy puffed out his soft little chest. "Boy schmoy, I'm the matzo ball man, bubby, and I'm off to see the world." Then he ran out the door, leaving smears of schmaltz, or chicken fat, on her freshly mopped kitchen floor. Not that she minded a little work, but would have hurt him to wipe his feet. "Wait, wait," the old woman cried, running after him. "Put on a jacket or you'll catch the death of cold." But the matzo ball boy just laughed and kept on running. He called back over his shoulder, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the matzo ball man." So the old bubby ran as fast as she could, but she couldn't catch him. The matzo ball boy ran on through the village, and as he paused, past the tailor shop, who was putting the last stitch in the rabbi's good coat, which he was patching up for Passover, he rubbed his stomach. "Oi, you look good enough to eat, little matzo ball boy." But the matzo ball boy just laughed and kept on running. He called back over his shoulder, "I've run away from my bubby, and I can run away from you too. So, you guys can help me here. Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the matzo ball man." So the tailor and the old bubby ran as fast as they could, but they couldn't catch him. The matzo ball boy ran on, and soon he passed the yenta. That's another word for the village gossiper. And her 10 children coming home from the market with apples and nuts and bitter herbs for their Seder. The yenta dropped her basket and cried, "Oi, you look good enough to eat, little matzo ball boy." But the matzo ball boy just laughed and kept on running. He called back over his shoulder, "I've run away from my bubby and the tailor, and I can run away from you too." And just then, just to show off, he repeated, run as fast as you can, 11 times for each one of the children, and once more for the yenta herself. The yenta, her children, the tailor, and the old bubby ran as fast as they could, but they couldn't catch the matzo ball boy. Then the matzo ball boy ran faster than ever. It wasn't long before he came to the rabbi on the way to the synagogue. The rabbi licked his lips and said, "Oi, you look good enough to eat, little matzo ball boy." But the matzo ball boy just laughed and kept on running, and he called back over his shoulder, "I've run away from my bubby, the tailor, the yenta, and her children, and I can run away from you too. So run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the matzo ball man." The rabbi, the yenta, and her children, the tailor, and the old bubby ran as fast as they could, but they couldn't catch him. So the matzo ball boy ran on until he came to the edge of a river. And he could hear the others behind him getting closer and closer. "Oy vey, so now I have to cross a river too." The matzo ball boy slapped his forehead. "I'll never see the world at this rate." "If you care to climb on my back, I'll take you across," said a voice as smooth. Who do you think that is? The matzo ball boy turned to find a hungry fox grinning at him. "Ha! You must think I'm a real schlemiel, meaning somebody who's not very smart, said the Matzah Ball Boy. Do you think I don't know that old trick? First, you get me to go on your back, then on your head, onto your nose, and then I'm nothing more than a nosh for you, meaning food. Feh! The fox smiled a toothy grin. I can hear the others coming closer now. Do you plan on waiting for them? Not on your life, boy chick, the Matzah Ball Boy laughed. For someone who came from a pot of hot soup, this river will be a nice, refreshing change. I'm not made of gingerbread, you know. Me, I'm going for a swim. And with that, the Matzah Ball Boy jumped into the river and began swimming across. The fox jumped in too, but after only a few strokes, he saw he would never catch up with the quick little Matzah Ball Boy, so he turned back grumbling about cold food. Aha! So when the Matzah Ball Boy reached the far shore, he looked back and saw the dripping fox, the rabbi, the yenta, her children, the tailor, and the old bubby standing on the other side calling, Oi, come back, little Matzah Ball Boy. But the Matzah Ball Boy just laughed and called, Swim, swim as fast as you can. You can't catch me, I'm the Matzah Ball Man. And since none of them could swim, except for the fox, who pretended he no longer cared, they turned away and began that long walk back to town. The old bubby was last to leave. So go, have a good time, she called. Not that I'm complaining, but this is the thanks I get for bringing you up from a bit of dough. The Matzah Ball Boy watched them go, and then having nothing better to do, set off through the forest that lined the river's edge. It began to grow dark and cold, and soon the hungry and tired Matzah Ball Boy felt he could walk no further. Just then he came upon a poor man dressed in rags. The Matzah Ball Boy was about to run away when the man said, Oi, you need something good to eat, little Matzah Ball Boy? The Matzah Ball Boy nodded tiredly. Well, I've run away from my bubby, the tailor, the yenta, her children, the rabbi, and a fox, and I can run away from you too if I wanted. Of course, I wouldn't refuse an offer of a good meal and a soft bed. So the Matzah Ball Boy looked at the man. No one should be alone and hungry on Passover, said the man. Come home with me. Our food is simple and our cottage small, but you are welcome to join our meal. So the Matzah Ball Boy followed the poor man through the forest until they came to a tiny cottage, hardly bigger than a shack. Candlelight glowed warmly from the windows and a fire crackled cheerily in the grate. The man's wife sat by the fire stirring a big pot of soup. The most delicious smell came from the pot, reminding the Matzah Ball Boy of something, but he couldn't think what. Welcome, said the woman with a smile. Anybody know what they're going to predict going to happen next? Come in, said the man, and the Matzah Ball Boy took a deep step inside. Don't just stand there by the door where it's cold, said the man. Come closer to the fire and warm yourself. He held his hands out to the dancing flames and sighed in contentment. The Matzah Ball Boy drew closer to the fire. Its heat made him feel relaxed and drowsy. The soup will be ready soon, said the woman. She tasted a spoonful and then she shook her head in disappointment. It seems a bit thin tonight. I can't tell what else it needs. Can you? So she held out the spoon to the Matzah Ball Boy, who took it and leaned over the pot to scoop up a taste, and well, who knows what happened? Who's to say how it happened? Perhaps he fell in. Perhaps he was pushed. All we know is that poor man and his hungry wife had a delicious meal of matzo ball soup that night. Were you expecting a different ending? The end. And look, but no more. I thought maybe they had the recipe of the soup. Anyway, for all of you at home, I hope you have a great Passover if you celebrate Passover, and enjoy your matzo ball soup. Bye for now.